This is Fluency Module 3, Lesson 12. We're going to start off with multiplying mentally. We've been doing this for several days now, possibly even a week. So if you remember correctly, we are going to take the number apart, put it into place value, into units, and multiply that way. So as we're looking at this first one, 3,421, I want you to write down on your board where we would start. And again, if you need to pause anytime so that you can keep up, what I would really like you to do is for you to do the work yourself that I am doing, and then you check your work against mine. So we're going to start 3,421 times 2. We're going to start with the ones. So we'll start with 1 times 2, and we know that equals 2. Then we'll go to our tens, which is 20 times 2 here, which is 40. Go to our hundreds. 400 times 2 is 800. And then 3,000 times 2 is 6,000. If we add those together, then we get the answer 6,842. So that's a pretty quick and easy way to multiply. Keep it in your head if you can keep those numbers straight in your head. Let's look at the next one. Oh, I'm not sure what I did on that last one. I think we need to get rid of that 0 there. 2,302 times 3. So once again, we're going to do it as we're just kind of doing it in our head. Well, 2 times 3 is 6. 0 times 3 is 0. 300 times 3 would be 900. And then 2,000 times 3 would be 6,000. So we end up with 6,906 there. Going a little bit faster through this. The next number, 2,112 times 4. So once again, we're going to start with our 1 spot. 2 times 4 is 8. We'll go to our tens. Well, 10 times 4 is 40. 100 times 4 is 400. And then 2,000 times 4 is 8,000. So our answer there would be 8,448. This last one, I put in an extra 0 there somehow, so we're going to just ignore that. Our number is 2,223 times 4. So we are going to start in our ones. Well, 3 times 4 is 12. And to our tens, 20 times 4 is 80. 200 times 4 is 800. And 2,000 times 4 is 8,000s. Lots of 8s. We add those together, and our answer is 8,892. So that's our first part, multiplying mentally. We go on to our slide. And this one we're going to multiply in 3 different ways. So this gets, I think, it can be, takes us a little bit more time, but it's good practice on the things that we need to do. So we're going to look at this and we're going to say, first of all, we're going to say our multiplication expression in unit form. So we would say 200, 4 200s, 4 10s, 5 ones times 2. So just so that you understand again how we're breaking this apart. And then we're going to go ahead and use partial products, and I think I'm going to go ahead and do that right here at this side. So we'll write our problem out, 245 times 2. And doing partial products means that we're going to start with the ones. 5 ones times 2 is 10 ones. And then we'll do our tens, which is 4 tens times 2, which is 8 tens, or 80. And then our last one is 200s times 2, which gives us 400. So our answer there is going to be 490. Then we're going to do using place value discs. So I'm just going to draw a really quick chart. And we'll divide it into our 3 parts. That was not very well drawn, but that's okay. And these are our ones, our tens, and our hundreds. So we're going to now show using place value discs. Well, I 245, so that means I've got 5 ones. I have 4 tens, and I have 2 hundreds. And I'm multiplying that times 2, so I'm going to do each of those twice. And so when I gather them up, well, my ones, I have 10 of those, so I can send one of those over here. Now I don't have any ones. I have 9 tens, and I have 4 hundreds, and I got 490. The last way that we're going to do this is the standard algorithm, which is 245 times 2. This time when we do our ones, we'll do 5 ones times 2 is 10. That becomes 10 ones, which we're going to put over here and place that in our tens column there. 4 tens times 2, well, that's 80, plus one more 10 is 90 tens, or 9 tens. And then we have our 200s times 2 is 4. So 490. We get the same answer every way, so I think that's a pretty good sign that we were doing the right thing. Alrighty, we are going to go ahead and erase these now, and we're going to start over with the next number. The next number, if you go ahead and write this on your paper, we're going to go with 301 times 5. So that's our next problem. And let's write that down. 301 times 5. And let's come up, whoops, goodness gracious. I do these things and don't know quite what I'm doing. So I apologize. A little bit of a crazy thing just happened there. I just have to laugh. I'm learning about this more every time I do it. Okay, we're going to go with 301 times 5. So let's write that. And if we were to say that in unit form, we would say 1 times 5. So we're going to do our partial products. 1 times 5 is 5. 0 times 5 is 0. So we don't have any tens, but we have 15 hundreds. 3 times 5 is 15 hundreds. So our answer when we do this, well, we've got 5, we've got 0, so we've got 1,505. Let's see if that holds up for us. We're going to go ahead and use our place value discs. So I think we might need 4 columns this time because it looks like we went into the thousands. So we're going to set that up. We've got our ones, our tens, our hundreds, and our thousands. And we're starting with 1, 1. No tens at all, and 3 hundreds. Oh, goodness gracious. I'm drawing my 1 a little bit different than I want to draw it, so we're going to get rid of that, and I'm just going to draw a dot. Hopefully you can see these okay. So 301, we got to do it 5 times, so I'm going to do 5 there and 5 times there. So when I look at the end, I've got, well, I have 5 ones. I don't have any tens. And how many hundreds do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Well, I'm going to take 10 of those hundreds, and I'm going to turn them into 1,000. So now I have 5 hundreds left and 1,000. So my answer, 1,505. This is looking good because that's what I want it to be. At least it matches my partial product. Let's go back and do this standard algorithm. Again, I would love it if you would pause this, do it yourself, and then check against mine to see if you get the same answers. With this standard algorithm, 1 times 5 is 5. 0 times 5, now we're in the tens. 0 tens times 5, well, that's 0, but I do have to show it because I need to make sure I take care of each unit value. And then the last one, 3 times 5 is 15 hundreds, 1,505. So that looks great. We did it all right on that. And let's get rid of that and then prepare your board because now you're going to do the very last problem that we have there. And that's the one that's right here, 5,241 times 2. So if we were going to say that in unit form, 5,000s, 200s, 4 tens, 1 1 times 2. So let's start that with partial products. 5,241 times 2. Well, 1 times 2 is 2 ones. 4 tens times 2 is 8 tens, or 80. 2 hundreds times 2 is 4 hundreds, or 400. 5 thousands times 2 is 10,000. So let's see what our answer is, and then we'll see if we can replicate that every time we do it. All right, we will need to draw our box we'll need to go up to thousands. So it's going to need to have 4 compartments. We've got our ones, our tens, our hundreds, and our thousands. All right, let's look at that number, 5,241. I've got 1 1. I have 4 tens. I have 2 hundreds. And I have 5 thousands. I'm thinking, actually, I probably need to go one more to go to 10,000. All right, we have to do that number twice. So we'll do one more 1, another set of 4, a set of 200s, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 thousands. Okay, let's add them up. How many ones? Well, we've got 2 ones. I have got 8 tens, 4 hundreds, and I've got 10,000. So I can take those and move those over to 1 10,000 there. So I don't have any thousands left, but I have 1 10,000. So 10,482. So far, we're doing great. Everything matches. Let's do now the standard algorithm, 5,241 times 2. We're going to start with the ones. 1 times 2 is 2. Move on to the tens. 4 times 2, 8. Move on to the hundreds. 2 hundreds times 2 is 400. And last of all, we'll move on to our thousands. Well, 5,000 times 2 is 10. All of those worked, and you have now come to the end of our Fluency Module 3, Lesson 12.